things like that. So that was another $400. And so we were talking about the fact, it's like, why didn't we buy an RV trailer and just 2 cars that could tow it? We both have a car. Hers can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hers can. Yeah. So it's like mine's paid off. So it's like, I don't know if I want to buy another car just yet because it's so nice not having a car payment.
Yeah.
But it's like, we would also have one less engine in our house, and it would be, we'd both be able to tow it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And when we get to a campsite, we wouldn't have to bring a second car. Because when you want to go someplace, you have to pack up everything and go to town. So if we wanted to go in town for dinner, we either have to ride our bikes or whatever it is.
Well, what would you get, though?
I like the Toyota...
the 4Runners?
Yeah, no, just the 4-door...
Tundra.
Not the Tundra, the smaller one.
Tacoma.
Oh.
Those are really nice.
If it could tow enough. I had a Tundra. That was a huge truck. It's too big. It's too big. It scared me. Theme's playing. Rhyme time. Men's tour is over. Women's is in full swing. Where again, a tumble makes things tough for Vollering. I see what I did there.
Yeah.
The Waples aren't home yet. No laws have been broke unless they're to blame for the Visma Lisa bike choke. That was a little harsh. I feel bad about typing that one out. Welcome to episode 488. We are 12 away, gentlemen. 12 away from 500 of the longest standing podcast on the sport of cycling. This is the one and only Packfiller Cycling Podcast. Thank you for this post-ride beer with several friends and one asshole. I am potentially that asshole. My name is Pat Bulger, and I'm wearing my dickie tonight.
I almost wore mine.
You did? I'm wondering when the day comes that we all end up wearing them at the same time.
Yeah.
We just look like the crew of tire mechanics.
Yep.
They're pretty cool, though. Well, to many, the tour withdrawal has begun. Trust us, we know how you feel. However, we are here again to at least give you something to reflect and, of course, talk about and laugh about the simple joy of riding your bike. Welcome again to the show. We are on our YouTube channel, and if you are ever interested in the Green Room Chatter, be sure and subscribe to our Patreon. Tonight's Scratch Prologue, sponsored by Scratch Labs Fuel and Hydration, is as follows. I talked too long.
Paul's got it.
Oh, Paul's got the script. Well.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Jackson, where's your scratch?
I know.
Okay, the Scratch Lab Prologue. You guys ready? You're invited to a friend's house for dinner or a party. I don't know if this. I might have done this one before, but they tell you not to bring anything, or just don't say anything about what to bring or what not to bring. What do you do? And there's a bonus question. How long are you obligated to stay? So the question is, don't bring anything, or they don't say anything. What do you do? Second question is, how long are you obligated to stay? First and foremost, his final points tally in the Tour Fantasy competition is a whopping 5,641 points. Mr.
Nice.
Rim Break himself, Paul Main. How are you, man?
It's great to be in the cellar.
Party etiquette. What do you bring?
Always bottled wine. And, I usually, the people I know drink wine, so,
Yeah.
if they're going to invite me to the party, I'll bring something. So,
Or at least you drink it yourself. You have something to drink. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. How long is the...
When my wife says it's time to go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, pretty much. Because I'll hang out till they say, go ahead and turn the lights up. All right, yeah. So I got one more story.
You guys don't mind if I watch a couple channels for you.
I won't stick around for that, but talk. I'll hang around for chat.
Okay. Okay. Second off, his final tally, a crushing 12,129.
Nice.
Mr. Jackson Boulder, how are you, man?
Doing well. Thanks.
I hope you learned well on party etiquette
Yeah.
from your parents.
So I typically bring whatever my wife wants to drink, which is typically like a bottle of wine.
Even if
like
you're
that.
told not to bring anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That, and then I'll usually bring like a 6-pack of something I want to drink. So it's probably a beer of some kind.
Okay.
And then my wife is a lot better at the party etiquette because she's like, but what if we brought like a dessert? Or what if we brought this?
Really?
So
okay.
she adds that in there. And then for the length of time that we'll stay, I would say typically a 2-hour minimum.
Okay.
Because an hour just feels like
Hour's pretty short.
you're in and out. 2 hours, That's feature-length film. You've been around for enough time.
I have given you my life story,
Exactly.
my adventure for this night.
Yeah,
So-
and we never just typically stay for 2 hours, but if it's a really uncomfortable situation, her work parties aren't uncomfortable. If it were to be a work party for me, which I've never gone to, it would be like, we're getting out of here in 2.
Okay.
So
Two's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, finally, as you guys can tell, we don't have any Waples with us tonight, so that's why we started on time. Me with my best year ever and a total of 13,235 points. Booyah. I'm Pat Bulger, and that puts me in 4th place. It puts Jackson in 7th. It puts Paul in 12th. Unfortunately, Paul's the last of the Packfillers for 2025. David came out in 3rd and Sam in 9th. You guys weren't too far away.
close.
Yeah, you could have, a couple trades there.
Yeah, I did not get into it at all.
I got into the trades. I didn't realize that you could, bail a rider. I dropped Primoz Roglic like a hot potato.
Yeah.
And my points went up.
Damn, are we setting up something for like a fantasy football league this year? Is this getting the taste in our mouth?
Oh, I don't know if I know enough about football to do that, but it could be fun. I enjoyed it. So we're going to have to figure out something here pretty soon. For my party etiquette, I always bring a beverage. Always bring a beverage, even if, even it's a baptism. Even if it's a
For
child's birthday
self-medicating.
party.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because there are a lot of times that, we'll show up and, it'll be a Bud Light and tequila party, and we're like, oh shit, thank God we brought a bottle of wine, so we'll drink that or something like that. I do have to say that I've always noticed, however, that there are times when you show up at a party and there are clearly too many people brought wine, and they have way too much. How many times I've been tempted to walk up and just grab my bottle of wine on the way out, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't, but I have.
Gifter.
Yeah, I've just thought, God, they wouldn't even notice. I could just get my wine and we could have something to drink when we got home. So after we talked about the party, I like the 2-hour rule, but I do have to admit, I just make sure we're not the first people to leave.
Yeah, that's good.
Just because you don't want to be that person. On to the show. We got to think about a punishment. I got to know if we need to order white bibs or not. Paul, we do have the jersey of shame somewhere.
I've worn it.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah,
I think you were the first person to wear it.
Yeah.
Even though it was a gift for me.
Yeah.
For like, my God. Was it my
Your
40th?
fifth-
My 50th? Might have been my 50th. Yeah. So it's been a long time. Listeners, everybody out there, if you have any ideas, throw them out there. List them on our Patreon. I think we should give people benefit to do that. Or on the Facebook group, you can do it there. So there we go. Congratulations to Rowdy Boys Wrangler for winning the Packfiller Tour competition. Brent S., who we all know well, came in second. And then David rounded out the top 3. Thanks to everybody who played along with us this year. We'll definitely do it again next year. It's nice to have a platform to keep track of all the points, because we pretty much screwed that up every year
Yeah.
with our own internal math.
It is a nice thing to do.
Yeah. And so we got that there. And I said I discovered how to use the app. And I also got too lazy many times where I wouldn't pick my stage winner. And if you don't, I ended up with Biniam Girmay to win a mountain stage a couple times. I was like, oh, shit, I forgot to switch that over. But you did none of that, did you, Paul?
No, I didn't either.
Did you plan to fail?
No, well, I just didn't have time, so I forgot about it till it was like 10 o'clock at night. And I 3 or 4 times, and I was tired, and I was thinking about other things. And I kept going over budget, and I said, screw it. I just threw whatever I could fit in the budget, and that was it. I never looked at it. I don't even know who I picked. I just left.
I think in the end, that David's strategy was to pick 3, Tadej, Jonas, and Remco Evenepoel, and then just the rest of all of them just 1-point riders.
Yeah.
Which got him 3rd place. He led for a long time.
He did.
So
He podiumed.
he did. I don't know. I like to play a little bit more adventurous, but I didn't do very well. Before we dive into the tour, let's first get to the insight in everybody's riding life, cycling life. How's everybody doing? What's it been like? We got the doldrums here. It's I don't want to say that. It's still July, and here it's just nothing on the horizon.
Yeah, it's just one of those things right now where you get busy because you plan all those trips, in this time of year, bike racing's not really going on anymore. So you're just like, might as well backload it of the summer. So that's kind of what has been with my, last 3 weeks. We went camping, and then we went to a concert this last weekend. And yeah, it just kind of caught up to me. So I've decided lately, and I'll get on to more of this when I do my segment, but I've decided to just start exercising in the morning. I have no time anywhere else. And I've been doing indoor training, which I know people are going to go
right outside.
But with being at work at 7:30, it's one of those things where you can't go on a long enough ride to count it as like a good training ride. And so, yeah, it's been pretty good. I've done, 2 or 3 rides inside, and they have been hard. I did one on Tuesday called A Very Dark Place.
Oh, that's a horrible one.
And I was in a very dark place.
Yeah.
I was bad.
That's a painful one.
That's on systems.
Yeah. And I just started a new training plan, but I'm doing every other day. So whatever pops up on that day, I'll do it. And then in the other days, people are gonna judge me for saying this as well. But I went on to ChatGPT, okay, and I said, give me a training plan, or give me a weight training plan for a week, like a 7 or a 6 day week, 6 day weights plan, and for a cyclist. And they said, okay, here's this, and it spat out something, and it said, also give me your equipment and give me what your goals are. And so I said, I want to gain more strength and muscle, and I have a 50-pound kettlebell and a 25 kettlebell. And it went, perfect. That's great equipment to have. And it went, and it spat out this whole thing. And then it said, do you want it in a PDF? And I said, sure, I'll take it in a PDF, but you have to have the premium account. So she's like, or she, I don't know why I call it she, but either way, it was, do you want it just to copy it in a note? So I copied it into my notes, and I have a 6-day training plan that I'm doing every other day now.
Wow.
It is crazy.
I used this app earlier in the year for weight training, very similar, and I know it's all AI based. Where is it? As I scroll through my phone, which is really good radio. I think it's simply, and it has nothing to do with cycling, but I think it's called Gravel. GRAVL, and you indicate what you have and what you don't have and what you want to do, and it will set up a workout for you, and it will mix things up all the time.
That's really cool.
And it does that too. And so it's like, apparently I didn't finish the last workout I did on there.
But this, like,
whoops.
And when I was, obviously I'm a teacher, so we have in-service days, but I went to an in-service, and it was like teaching us how AI is a tool, if utilized correctly.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it can be, in settings like that, it can create something that, like, otherwise you don't really have access to unless you're, like, willing to pay an arm and a leg for it. So it's that's what I'm doing lately.
Exactly. Paul, how's the cycling life? It's getting warmer in here already.
You and I rode Saturday.
We did.
I rode with CP on Sunday. And I've been doing 2 times a week minimum of I can't leave my house while I'm working, but I just hop on my rollers.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, I can't go anywhere. Otherwise, I go for a ride. But, I mean, 45 minutes on the rollers. Outside in the heat, no fans, no anything.
No shit.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I was
just about to comment on the fact that you guys must all have AC.
I
hear this, that you're doing it without AC.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's bold. That's good heat training.
With no wind.
No
wind. Do you have a fan?
Yeah, it's in our little stuba, as my wife calls it, that cage. And we have sheer curtains in there to kind of block people from looking in.
Yeah.
And it prevents the wind from coming in. You can see the curtains kind of move, but there's not much
You
movement.
just soaked in sweat?
Yeah, I sweat pretty bad, but I have a towel. I'll make sure I wipe down my bike and clean it afterwards. But
holy shit.
Yeah.
It's rollers. It's different than, to me, it's like completely different than sitting on a trainer where it's so stationary that your sweat just goes. Here, it's like I'm not sweating that much because it's scattered all over.
Oh, okay. It's not just dripping.
Yeah, it's not hitting my top tube or my headset and dripping down and running. Yeah. It's, because you're standing up moving from side to side. So.
Wow. Okay.
These stationary solutions are amazing for time crunches like that.
Yeah.
Though. I've been really
and it used to be this whole mark of shame, but let's be honest. I mean, especially when you're getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you can get on the bike and you can kind of slowly wake up in the first 5-10 minutes. Yeah. Whereas if you're hopping on your bike and riding out the door, you got to be awake. You got to be ready to rock. And, that's a completely different thing. And so I agree with you. And it's a great way to get just a specific workout in. Boom, you're done. You're off.
Yeah.
And so, people who bust your chops about it obviously have way too much time on their hands or something like that. So I had a pretty good week. It was, I think I got probably 4 or 5 days in this last week. Some of them had just like my last 2 days have been hilarious. They've been kind of more out of necessity than cycling. I was saying before in the green room that we were talking about our RV repairs, and my wife works during the day. And so I'm like going, well, I'll just drive out, drop off the RV, hop on my bike and ride home or something like that. So when we got the generator fixed, it was out towards Cheney. And I rode out there to pick it up. Michelle helped me drop it off, but I rode out there to pick it up and just literally drove home in my road cycling shoes. And then this week I had to go out to Liberty Lake, which is by the Centennial Trail, which is our paved, really nice bike trail. I think it ended up being like 23, 24 miles. So I drove out there, rode back day one. Next day, I rode out there, drove back. And I got those 2 rides in. They were all very much zone 2 at the most, and nothing big, but it was good to get out. And so it was kind of nice. Now I know how people who commute for a living feel.
It's nice.
Yeah. Although when I got to my destination, I didn't have to work or change into work clothes or stuff like that. So that was really nice. And I have come to a decision. First off, my luck has not been truly shining on me this year. The crash pretty much has messed me up. My shoulder, I do have some bruising, stuff like that. And I have something going on. As you guys can hear, my nose is already starting to, take over, and my nose is getting a little nasally. And I must have some sort of either a definitive allergy that I need to have taken care of, or a definitive sinus infection. So, that's got to get fixed. And obviously the insect kingdom doesn't like me very much.
No,
on Sunday, I had a bee.
Saturday,
I had a bee go in my helmet vent while we were bombing down a hill, and it got in and stung my head. And so I'm shaking my head when I go down there, out of my vent! Just keeping my head as straight as possible. Not my head, my bike as straight as possible while I'm shaking my head. And then about 45 seconds later, was it my chin? It just hit my chin,
hit your chin.
It bounced off my chin.
I'm talking to him. I look over and I'm like, saying to him, like, man, you have the worst luck with bees. I don't know. Lucky my mouth was, and then one hit him right in the chin.
Oh my
God. My chin.
That is crazy.
Because his noggin's so big. Yeah. Trying out on the toothpick. Go cry yourself asleep on the big pillow.
Huge pillow. So it was just, and after discussions with my wife, I don't think I have the shoulder strength to handle the abuse of Colorado mountain trails. And I'll also likely be on a round of antibiotics by the time we go. So I have decided to defer my Breck Epic challenge for this year. The registration, upon approval, I contacted the people at Breck Epic. Incredibly nice, great turnaround time, and it just didn't seem like things were going to work out this year. And I asked them, and they said, we don't refund. We do if it's before January 1st, but we do let you defer a year up to 2 years, and fill out this form, and we'll let you know. And so they've been really cool about it.
That's awesome.
And hopefully that'll be the case. And it was kind of funny. Michelle and I were also watching some videos last night on YouTube, and some of the people we were watching were talking about, they were racing in Italy about, we're watching them go down these trails that just looked horrible. And the person riding says, wow, this is kind of Breck Epic like. These trails are almost like it is at Breck Epic. And I looked over at my wife and she goes, you happy you got another year? And I'm like, I kind of am. So it was, it's probably all for the best that we take a year off. And I hate that. But it so talk to you guys about registering for a race and not actually going. We know that Sam has made an art form out of it. But it definitely is a silly way to throw money away. Have you guys ever, how often, have you ever done it? How often have you done it? Have you ever tried to get your money back? or anything like that in terms of races?
Personally, I've never done it. I have gone to every race that I've signed up for. The only situation, well, the only situation that I can't really apply this to is this last year. My wife, she registered for her first ever marathon, and it was a tragic story. She was training, and then she had one specific training day where she had some sprints included, and she hyperextended her. I
didn't know how she did it.
I know, and she strained the sartorius muscle, I want to call it. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
You could make up one, and we wouldn't know because the doctor's not here.
No. Yes, I know.
Or the kinesiologist.
Yeah. I'm sure if I got it wrong, I might get a text, but which would be appreciated
from Jack.
Which would be appreciated, so I could tell you the right thing. But so she couldn't run her marathon because of this injury, and so she reached out to the people at the marathon she was going to run, and she was able to get a refund for it.
They refunded her.
Yeah, and we were also able to get a refund for the Airbnb we booked too. And we just booked another trip. So that's the only experience that I've had with having to kind of switch plans around.
Kudos to the Missoula Marathon.
Mm-hmm.
We got to mention that when people are cool enough to do that.
That's a great marathon, too.
That's what I've heard. And so hopefully when she's better, we'll go back next year.
Wow.
So actually, we will go back next year.
You yourself have never done it.
Will I do the marathon?
No, you have never signed up for a race and not gone.
I've never done that.
God. He's too new.
Yeah.
Paul, you ever done it?
Of all my 39 years of racing, twice.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Both this year.
Once was, I was going to say, was once about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks at EPO, and then RC3, I couldn't do it either because it's fresh after. After the crash.
Oh God.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I have done it. Obviously, I just did do it. I don't know if I've done it a lot at bike races. I'm pretty good about that. The second day of last year's EPO, I remember I was just like going, I'm not going to race tomorrow, even though I signed up for it. I'm not going to do it. And that was one. I have a tendency to do with concerts. I get really excited about a concert, and I'll click and buy the ticket. And then I come home and I'm tired or something like that, and I won't go. Or once I bought a ticket to a concert by myself. When in my adult life, when I was married, and I was just like, I'm not going to go stand in a bar all by myself.
You really thought that one through.
Well, I was like, I envisioned myself with the guts to do it when I bought the ticket because I really liked the band.
Because you're drinking bourbon at the time?
Probably. Yeah, probably. Every waking hour. And I was just like, I would love to go see these guys. And Michelle's like, I don't know them well enough. I don't know. And so I'm like, well, screw you. I'm buying a ticket. I just saw to myself as, cool, the guy in the back, sitting there, holding his beer up like this, bouncing his head back and forth.
Yeah.
Like Dalton, And that didn't happen because I chickened out. It was Spoon. I really wanted to go see Spoon. Spoon, and I didn't go. And I suck. But I do that kind of stuff. So do you guys get FOMO of races that you wanted to go to that you didn't go to or things like that? Or do you just kind of like going, it's all for the best? Because I'm already experiencing FOMO about Breck Epic. I'm already kind of bummed. And Michelle, my wife, feels guilty. She's like, God, I'm sorry. I'm like, you're not the one with the shoulder and the, but.
I don't know if I necessarily feel guilty. I think that if there's a race I want to do, I typically sign up for it. Not this year, obviously, but the year prior, I think when Sam was telling me about Tour de Bloom, I think I did want to do it. But now, if I miss something, I missed it on purpose.
Yeah. Okay.
I always, beginning of the year, I always have like a giant agenda, but because life throws curveballs like crashing.
Yeah.
Or, an in-law dying or, so
Jeez,
I'm one of those guilty people that waits to the last week.
You are.
Yeah. So other than RC3, I thought there's no way I'm going to miss that. There isn't. I mean, everything was clear until the crash happened.
Yeah.
And then I thought I was okay with EPO, so I went ahead and signed. I thought I should be good by then. So, but yeah, I've always have an agenda, and I have already kind of preliminary for next year.
You do?
So, yeah, absolutely.
Do you guys ever tend to underbook in possibility of like
something
openings?
better coming around?
Yeah.
Because
I find that I don't find that I underbook. I find that I realistically book. April through early June was pretty much just like bike racing the whole time, and then I left that whole summer open for like possibilities to be abound.
I was hoping for some events to show up, and not a whole lot has. I mean, I haven't been looking very hard. I mean, I'm not scouring the 3-4 states away or anything like that. I mean, I'm not going down to Northern California and hitting anything like that. But So I try. What I like to try to do is book at least one kind of big event a year. And I could say that BWR Bozeman was a big one. I could say that I definitely would say that Breck Epic was going to be a big one. I didn't do Bloom, so that was kind of it. But I gotta find more. I get really brave, just like my concerts. I get really brave, and then the event comes. I'm like, shit, I don't want to. God, I'm gonna suck. I don't want to go.
Well, this is a fair reason, though. You don't want to physically harm yourself.
Yeah, I think I would have been at maybe 50%, and I would have just got my ass handed to me.
You don't have a good time.
Full round of antibiotics while I'm going through, and going up to 10,000 feet is probably not the best idea in the world. So, okay. Well, there we go. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Last time I get to play this going into our headline section because it is our French tag. Let's jump to the headlines. Of course, brought to us with a little help from our friends at Muck Off. Be sure to keep your things... Keep your things. I was drunk today. Clean and running smoothly with the fine products from Muck Off. You won't be sorry, and your expensive gear will last. Use the link at packfiller.com. The tour ended with a hell of a bang, if you ask me, with Stage 21 reinventing itself. And Tade not just coasting along tasting champagne. Things ended as they began with energy and aggressive racing. If you were unaware, the 2025 tour ended with Tadej Pogacar taking his 4th tour win over Jonas Vingegaard at 4 minutes 24. Florian Lipowitz flying the Red Bull colors at 11 minutes. Oscar Onley, Felix Gall, and then there we go on and so forth, so on and so forth. If you pick Primož Roglic, he was 25 minutes and 30 seconds back. Ben Healy actually fitting in there for 28-2 at 9th place. The race for the green jersey solidly won by Lidl Trek's Jonathan Milan, and Polka Dot taken by, again, Tadej Pogacar. I know it's a sponsorship thing, but I always find it kind of insulting that the second place dude has to wear the Polka Dot jersey in those kinds of situations. It's just like, you almost wish there was a rule where that you could just have, you can only win one jersey. Could that be?
Remember the multi jersey?
Yeah.
So that was like the best place in all those.
Yeah.
And they got rid of that. But if I think they should come up with some kind of combination like Tade.
It would be kind of cool to see again.
A polka dot and a yellow. It'd probably be quite garish, but at least that it goes on the back of the person that has it.
Yeah.
Well, and you find that typically the yellow jersey winner lately is the polka dot winner. Typically.
Yeah. The way that it's turned out.
Yeah. Or very close there.
Yeah.
He was almost green also.
He was for a while.
Was.
There. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have been very Bernardino of him to do. If you guys had to mention some of your highs and lows of this year's men's tour, what would come to mind?
Highs? Honestly, I found stage... The early stages were very exciting. The last stage was very exciting. But that uphill time trial changed this entire tour.
In a positive way.
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it first of all, I like that the person who won wasn't on full TT setup. That that left a good taste in my mouth, Bless you. And then, damn, a low? The weather. I just wish it was prettier.
A lot of wet days, especially the final day. That was kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it made it epic.
It did indeed.
And that I will advocate to not change the stage. But I think the weather for me.
Paul, you got a high and a low?
High definitely was the last stage because it was raced like a classic, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
And it's so, everybody just laid it on the line. There wasn't like once they decided that. Once they crossed the line of the Champs-Élysées, that the race is over, now you're racing for the stage. And then Tade, of course, being the person that he is, thought, okay, I can't lose a tour, I can crash. So he's out there. That made it very interesting. And the conditions, and and just to see the people packed on that hill was great. It had tons of energy.
God, 10 people deep at least.
Mount Ventoux was pretty cool.
Yeah.
As a stage. The low was supposed to be the Queen stage. I think people were, because the race was so intense for so long, that everybody were on their knees. You just watch, it's just like watching, paint dry, because no one could do anything. They're just so tired. I mean, Visma tried to do some teamwork, and of course they, everybody criticizes them if it doesn't work. They're like, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
But they were trying to do something. So, but I just think, you look at Jorgensen going backwards. He had bronchitis. I mean, people got sick. Yeah. So that stage that's the one I thought, man, there's going to be carnage. And it was just like, oh, that was such a letdown.
Yeah.
That stage was terrible.
I was going to say the attrition just seemed that much more brutal this year. It just seemed like we just lost people. I mean, Remco, it was more just flat out fatigue, wasn't it? His reason for abandonment?
He has a broken rib.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he does. I forgot reading that,
I know how that feels. It's not good.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, exactly. And the final stage, I will say, I looked at my wife, and she went for a walk with the dog. She came back. She's like, "Why are you so sweaty?" And I'm like, "It was the best stage I've ever seen in my life."
Cops.
Yeah, it was cops. Watching cops. It was so unbelievable, the energy of that stage and the excitement of it. I did hear on the flip side of that coin saying, however, it did minimize the final stage to less than 5% of the field. And what does that say about, does that, I don't know, does it make it a fair playing field for the final stage? Does it bring, if you just are seeing these particular top riders again, what does that say about?
But here's the thing. This, doesn't make it fair. Topic has come up so many times about like Tade stopped winning all the stages.
Yeah. No fair.
If it's not fair, be better. Like, because I'm so tired of this whole thing about like, oh, please stop beating us every single time. Well, then just work harder.
Yeah, or
try and beat him.
Yeah,
because he's not going to stop.
That's bike racing. That's the essence of bike racing.
Yeah,
right there.
Exactly.
Is figuring out the chink in the other person's armor.
Right.
And for me, at least, it's just like, it's not watching some guy rip up a hill and beat everybody, or winning a race. It's like, how did he get there? What was the tactics used? And otherwise, you might as well be watching a gravel race.
Yeah.
Oh, he was the strongest.
But watching Wout on that final climb not only accelerate with Tade, but attack him. Now, we will all admit that Tade's been doing absolutely 3 weeks worth of leading a Grand Tour, and then a fresh versus, Wout's been able to get his job done and then drop back a little bit and plan for this last day. So we can talk about that. But just to see that and to have that happen, to have seen Tade win that stage, that final stage, would have been pretty freaking cool too.
Yeah.
That hasn't been done since Bernardino also. Yep. So it was still, it was a beautiful stage. Just to see the aggressive nature of it, the attacking. It wasn't brought down to this 3 laps to go, watching a lead out train and things like that happen. My friends over at the Feed Zone over on Cycling Legends brought up the concept of a rotating years. Do it every other year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It made it exciting, and I like that idea. I even texted you guys that Tadej Pogacar is so amazing for the sport because of him showing up on a stage like that.
Yeah.
When I'm scrolling through my Instagram reels, I see people who are beginner cyclists be inspired by him.
Yeah.
Or I'm seeing things about saying like, we don't talk about how this guy's like one of the best athletes in the world, So I think that it was a really inspiring last day.
Tadej has mentioned, or at least hinted, that this party can't go on forever. A nod to 2028 as the potential last year of his cycling career. Thoughts on this? Is this just a tired dude? Or how can somebody stay so focused for so long without losing a step?
I saw something today that was like, you think he's getting tired of achieving everything?
Well, the drive and the motivation and the focus and, living every moment towards your objectives can get a little tiring.
Yeah. And I have been interested to see how close he is to breaking records lately. If he were to win another tour, he would have tied the most tours ever won. Mm-hmm. If he were to have won 2 more tours, he will win the most tours ever.
Asterisk.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly. But I don't know. I think that I'm interested to see what that drive looks like in 2028. Because it's hard to see him not winning the next 2 tours. Does he want to do it again?
Yeah, you can't blame somebody because he's on the whole season.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not. You look at Jonas, his focus is the tour, and then like Vuelta maybe afterwards, something like that. But
yeah,
there's a lot of pressure, and he always seems to enjoy himself. This tour, I would say, he just didn't seem like the bubbly guy.
He was surviving a little more.
Yeah, and he looked tired too. And I think, his agenda in the spring, he's got to put some weight on there, of like his fatigue level. And he's getting older.
Yeah.
And he made a comment that he says, well, I am 26 right now. And it's like maybe the little kid in me that used to find the joy is I'm starting to grow up. And questions of doping now because he broke a couple of records on was it
Mont Ventoux? He's the fastest ever up at now.
And so that was all done in the doping ages and stuff like that. But it's all that
pressure. Got to get wearing.
Absolutely, the press just he used to be like, yeah, how's it going? And now it's just like I got to do this.
Yeah. What I find funny too is that you see he's getting the doping allegations, but who's right behind him every single time? Jonas is right behind him, and nobody talks about that. I don't know. It's weird. But anyways.
Spotlight gets the attention.
Yeah.
It garners all the attention. And, Paul, you and I grew up watching riders compete the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
Many times, some riders doing all 3 Grand Tours. And things like that. Do you think it's the speed? Do you think it's the style of racing? Do you think it's the pressure that is causing a little bit more of this earlier onset fatigue mentally?
Yes, on all those. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, the racing now is full gas at kilometer 0.
Yeah.
Never did. Mm-hmm. I mean, they used to like go zone 2 or 1 and 2 until you see the helicopter because there was only an hour and a half of footage, and that's when the race kind of began. A breakaway would go up, but they would control it so there wouldn't be, too much to gather to bring it in and stuff. But yeah, it's different because we have, with media being as it is, the way I think we've talked about this before. After COVID, everybody's like, we don't know when we're going to race, so it's created this. Yeah. And I think also we have an interjection of very young riders with a lot of talent, and we have power meters and stuff that people are getting into this position that would probably never make it because they can't handle bikes.
Yeah,
they just have tons of power and great physical ability. Mm-hmm. So, I think there's a lot of things there, and I tell you, when you're in a crit, for me, this is on my behalf. If it's a crit and it's a squirrely crit, it's exhausting.
Yeah,
it is. It adds another feature to it. That's when I'm thinking I got to get out of here. I have to go on a break. Mm-hmm. I'm going to create a break because it's just chaos here, because it's stressful, and that's the way it is from kilometer 0 now. And I don't think a lot of people put that in their equation.
Yeah,
from March until October.
Yeah, any race you do nowadays,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah. With the focus on the tour, in terms of teams, are there any teams that you think are walking away with their heads held higher, obviously, than the usual, more than the usual UAEs and things like that are just like going, holy shit, that was a payoff? I would list EF Education, Easy Post as a team that actually exceeded their expectations.
Uno X.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very true.
Or even on the other side, who are staring down a shit sandwich and have to explain something to a title sponsor. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Israel Premier Tech, but that's owned by a billionaire, so I don't think they have to worry about that. But they've fallen on their face.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the Lottos
Yeah.
That sucked.
Yeah, but you can see that coming. That they don't have the money that, you know, on my eyes, like Israel Premier Tech has got massive money.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Lotto and Intermarché are planning a merger,
Right.
so you know that they're half that team who are worried about where they're going to race next year. But it does seem like that merger will help in some way, shape, or form. Even though once again we've got one less team in the peloton to fight for things.
I think Ineos is such an interesting little ball of wax that we got from this tour.
Yeah,
I think they had a great showing out of Tayman Arnsman.
and that was it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is a weird version that we haven't gotten. I'm shocked that they didn't bring Bernal for a top 10. And those are kind of the only riders anymore.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what their next year is going to look like. But I don't know whether they'll be happy or not.
They have some salary money with Garrett, obviously, probably going into a management type of position, hanging it up. I'm sure he had a minimum salary requirement that was not overly cheap. I mean, he was a former tour winner. The Total Energy thing is not going to happen. Total Energy has committed to their original team through 2026. So we're going to be seeing Total Energy back for at least one more year. That type of thing happening.
But they could still be a co-sponsor, not title
They still
sponsor.
could. They still could. Yeah.
The interesting thing about that team is because you guys probably heard about it, but there's a doping allegations back in the day on Team Sky.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of lingering over them right now. It's a pretty dark cloud. So, with that, just on the PR problem.
Yeah.
And then who wants to go when the team's under,
Yeah.
They're in a weird place right now.
Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe has obviously got a lot of things surrounding it. It almost looks like as we're to the point where the deal is signed, well, not signed, but pretty much agreed upon, that Remco Evenepoel's contract will be bought out and he will be going to Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. However, what is the dynamic of Remco, Lipowitz, and Primoz Roglic all on one team again? Roglic is probably rolling his eyes going, Jesus, not again. Here we are.
Yeah.
I think he's got the attitude he had at the Tour de France. I don't give a fuck.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think his heart's into it anymore.
Yeah, you think he's starting on that downhill slope too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's he going to shoot for? I don't know. So he did the Giro, right? And he did in the Tour. Yeah. So
yeah, another Vuelta win maybe, but that would be all three tours. But he won't even start.
I bet he won't be on the team.
And Jonas is riding the Vuelta.
Yeah.
So it's like, there goes the win probably.
Yeah.
We talked about Visma Lease Bike tactics, and there, a lot of armchair quarterbacks talking about their tactics and criticizing him for it. Paul, you had a great take on it just a few minutes ago, saying, "Well, shut the fuck up." They at least attempted something.
They were trying.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
But UAE is a super team to say the least, and you're dealing with possibly one of the greatest to ever straddle the top tube to try and compete.
And their team, I don't think, got enough credit.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about.
They won the team competition too.
Yes, they did. And the thing is Niels Paulett was brought in for the flatlands, but he was up the climbs. He was doing what Wout did 2 years ago. And then all their teams, after they lost Almeida.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That everybody had to move up a position. So
yeah,
I was impressed with their team. They had Wellens up front, a couple of times. The satellite. Yeah, just the old tactics that Visma used to beat him.
Truly.
They played smart.
Yeah, I think so too. And it is tough as well to play that armchair quarterback. And you said it best, like probably one of, if not the best to ever ride a bike, is chasing you. It's hard to drop that. And also, he's probably in the peak of his career right now.
Yeah.
We've never seen him ride like this before. And so to be able to unload all that while he's got an unbelievable team behind him is sometimes you just can't break a guy.
Yeah.
I predict next year's Tade's schedule will be smaller. I don't think he's going to do the massive spring campaign.
I bet I'm curious. I think he wants to do the monuments. He's missing 2. Roubaix. In his first try, he got second.
I think he'll probably get it next year.
Mm-hmm. And then
you do.
I do.
But the hardest one for him to do is going to be Milan San
It's hard, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. As Philippe Joubert.
Yeah. Dude's got to be able to beat everybody in a sprint because that's the only way.
You're not going to get away.
No, you're going to take Van der Poel.
Yeah.
You're going to take maybe Wout with you.
Yeah. The Poggio is just not steep enough to break those guys.
And they're going so damn fast. They got a break in the corners.
I know. It's going uphill.
Yeah. It's just unbelievable. Give this tour a grade and define why you chose that grade. Defend why you chose that grade.
Okay, I would give it. I'd probably give it like an A. I think right now we're witnessing history.
Okay.
But I also really enjoyed how a good portion of this race, I felt like it was raced like a one day. The first whole week was raced as if it was a monument on the line.
Yeah.
That middle 2 weeks were a little bit muddy because after a while, with 4 minutes, it kind of became a little bit, you knew what was going to happen. But there were also, inspiring moments. That last day was really awesome. Just seeing some of the breakaway riders, Ben Healy.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Seeing the story of Quinn Simmons actually make something for himself in a breakaway. Yeah. All those little moments I thought were really cool.
I agree. And there were moments, and for all the Quinn Simmons haters and things like that, I don't want to bring politics into I try to keep that shit out of the podcast as much as possible. We know that Quinn has made his statements and has some beliefs and stuff like that. The guy rode. I mean, the guy did the Jersey proud.
He rode a great race.
Guy rode like a beast. Mm-hmm. And the little proposal thing was pretty good. I mean, if you're gonna, hey, they closed down Champs-Élysées. Probably a good place to drop on.
You might want to talk to Johan van Summeren.
Oh yeah,
Did you know who that is?
No,
I've heard the name.
So in 2011, he won Paris-Roubaix, and he was riding for it was the Garmin team, but now EF.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend came up and he proposed to her there. It didn't end well after that.
Shit.
They made it, I think, a year or two after.
Oh,
that sucks. That sucks.
I couldn't imagine being married to a pro bike racer.
No,
the time they're just, even when they're home, their daily schedule is just like going me. I'm weighing my food. I'm going to bed. Mm-hmm. Me. I'm going to bed. It's just like Jesus Christ. Yeah, and then they're gone for 9 months of the year. So it's just like, oh, honey, I'm going to go on vacation, but it's a training camp. You can't go.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Stay away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for Quinn Simmons, I have to say, outside of him trying to win a stage, man, he was chasing down breaks when Milan needed to be in position or trying to win a sprint or leading out for the intermediate sprints.
Yeah.
I mean, he was there. You saw, the stars and bars all the time up front. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your grade, Paul?
Last time you asked us, I said A-. I'm going to drop it down because I have a tendency to think when you make races tough, you start going a little flat. And I think the last week, I was looking forward to it, thinking, man, that Queen stage is just going to just knock them down. It will just be, exciting and watching. And some of that, watching people suffer. But they were suffering from the get-go, so there was no go. So I'll lower it down to a B+. I really enjoyed the first week, and I really enjoyed the last stage.
Yeah.
But that's why, of course, I like classic races way better than the Grand Tours. So.
I was going to go, I think I had an A last week, and I was going to go to an A- this week for the kind of the same reason, that attrition. But I will say that it did open up some fireworks for some Ironsmen. Taman Arnsman. Sorry. I'll get it. I'll get it eventually. And some of those other riders to kind of provide some interesting moments and things like that. So that I actually still enjoyed a lot about it. I would have loved to have seen, Jonas, who went on the attack a couple times, get some gaps, gain some things like that, make it, but it's not scripted. You can't have a perfect race.
Yeah. And you're going against Tade.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just can't do it.
Yeah. So I enjoyed the shit out of it, though. So looking forward to currently undergoing the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift. Things are definitely not without drama, as they say. Currently the top 10. What do we got? Kim Lacourt, pulling for on Prevost. Demi Vollering is now in third at 23 seconds. Cassie Niewiadoma sitting in 4. Anna van der Breggen and Marianne Vos. A lot of the hot top names sitting in that top 10 right now.
Under
and
a minute, too.
That top 10, the 10th place is 116. That's it.
Yeah.
And we haven't hit the major mountain climbs that we're about to hit. We've hit some climbs, but nothing like we're about to see. Demi, still the overall favorite for sure, appears to be recovering from her crash, just barely missing out on victory today. It was, in fact, today's stage was almost oh shit, I put my hands up too early moment. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was the announcers. I think who is it?
Kurt, no, what's his name? He does cyclocross also.
It's not Jez Cox. Anyway, but it was just like, oh shit, we gotta go to the photo, and so it came down to that, and it was a really, really tight finish, and Flowbike kicked me out right before it happened, so I'd like to thank him for that. And then
I've
I had
never had that happen to me. That's crazy.
It always happens to me. Weren't you watching it we were watching it in the RV?
Yeah,
and
I've seen
an ad came on.
Yes, so I will admit, before I was like, I don't know. What is all
Pat's
of this?
Just being Charlie Brown.
Right.
He's just a whiny little bitch.
Right. And then when we were camping, I was watching it and I was like, this is wild.
Yeah.
I've never had this personally happen to me before.
You know why? It's probably because I've said shit.
No.
And they're just like, send a virus
I know you want
down
to think that,
shit.
but here's goofy about that, because in the morning, my wife doesn't want to hear the race. And I'm watching on Flow Bikes. This is the tour. And I have my earbuds in. And then I have to go when I got phone calls, or I'll switch it over to my work computer. When I go back, I go through a commercial. So anytime there's a break, or if my internet service goes bleep just for a fraction of a second, it takes me back. I have to watch a commercial, and I have to fast forward to live.
But this
Wherever I started. So if I started with 1 hour into the race, I could be right towards the end.
Yeah.
And if I switch my headphones over, I
But this
go
is-
back to the very start when I started watching. Not the
Jax
beginning.
and I are sitting there drinking coffee, watching the race, not touched a thing.
But you probably had a blip. You had a blip. in
We
there.
were in the RV, so
Did you have to go fast forward to back to
no, I
life?
didn't do anything.
No.
We were just sitting there, and then all of a sudden, fucking Papa John's or whatever it was,
Yeah.
that pizza.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've genuinely never had it. I watch it at school on my
Just me.
phone. I watch it at home on the Apple TV VPN. That's a game fucking changer.
It is.
That
It
was
is to
awesome.
know that can. You taught me that is an opportunity.
I just figured
to
out
Apple
have.
TV VPN.
You can
Yes.
do NordVPN, which is a sponsor. Where's my bell?
the app on the TV.
There's an Apple TV app.
Yeah.
And you
there
can do
you
it
go.
through ca-
Oh,
way
jeez.
better.
Yeah. So your Apple
Yeah.
TV is now based out of Canada instead of you playing it from a device, sending it to your Apple TV, playing it on the TV.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
It's
I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Because I have to shoot it off of my phone.
Yeah.
Because
AirPlay,
for some
yeah.
reason AirPlay, but I can't do it off my iPad kicks it out. It kicks out the iPad, but not my phone.
Really? I'm the opposite. I do it off my iPad. So it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So I don't
just
know what it
upstairs,
is.
because we have a
Yeah.
smart TV. We don't have an Apple TV up here.
Ah.
Up there. We have an Apple TV here, so it works there. But it's just good to know, especially for Barry Roubaix next year.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, especially for that. Okay, women's tour top story recently is about Demi's crash at the sparking a heated debate about rider behavior and respect in the women's peloton. I will read from prepared text from our friends. I think this is Cycling News. Lisa Pike, director sportif, responding to the FDJ Suez team manager, his criticism: high speeds and huge stakes of the tour was highlighted at the impact of consequences and crashes of the sport. On Wednesday, Ellen Van Dyke announced her retirement, saying that crashes had led to her losing her love for the love of road racing. Because of the dangers of the sport, she said, I cannot enjoy road cycling as much as I would like anymore. I feel that the peloton is not my place anymore, and it's time for a new generation, she said. Vollering suffered knee pain as well as a gluten back pain and was checked for concussion. By the way, that was fucked up. She crashed. She got up. Her fellow riders pushed her all the way in. She got to the finish line. She rode back to the hotel, and then they did a concussion protocol. Yeah.
And I even question just pushing a rider.
Yeah. Yeah. She managed to survive stage 4. Doubts remained. She can fight for overall victory. Delacourt, her director, blamed other riders and the lack of respect in the peloton for the crash, but that angered Van Emden, the Visma Lisa bike, and he said, and I quote, "Let me be absolutely clear. What he's saying is absolutely ridiculous. I have absolutely no respect for those comments. He apparently wants a peloton of 8 riders with Demi in it to continue riding in a gilded cage. Yeah, hello. This is sport, right? Nothing happens, and that's impossible. He's simply influenced by Demi's posturing. Demi really thinks she's in a gilded cage. Yes, she is the best cyclist, but that doesn't mean everyone should make their way for her. You should just play a different sport. Leave it all at that. But my point is clear." Thoughts on that one in terms of, I mean, we've been kind of talking about that. We've been kind of playing upon that about rider burnout, about the fact that we've entered a new realm where from kilometer 0, everybody who's there has something on the line. They have something personal at stake. Your career doesn't start, it used to be you would become a pro at 20 and you would ride 2 or 3 years until you ever even thought about attending a Grand Tour, and then maybe 2 or 3 years after that you thought about being a contender for a Grand Tour. But now it's, we saw your numbers on Zwift, you're in the peloton, we expect you to win from day one. And I don't know Demi Vollering as an individual. I follow her on social media. I've never spoken to her personally. I don't know what type of a person she is, but it sounds like a lot of heated emotion got in the way, and it was a woe was me moment. I am the best rider. Why are people treating me poorly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it reminded me of this last tour, like men's Tour de France, when Tadej crashed, and everybody was like sending that one guy hateful messages, but a lot of the people who knew bike
Brian
racing...
Coquard. Oh, no, I was thinking of earlier in the year with Jasper Philipsen and Brian Coquard. Yeah.
But a lot of people who know bike racing were thinking, like, and even Tadej was saying, like, that's a race incident, like, stuff happens.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And mind you, I didn't see what the crash was that Vollering was involved in. I don't watch until Lombardia. So I'm... But
your bike racing days are over. I forgot.
Yeah,
men's tour ends. Yeah. You don't watch it.
I don't watch it. I'm not watching till Lombardia, and that's not for any rhyme or reason. Besides that, I don't know if I can handle it right now.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think that sometimes it needs to be taken into consideration the fact that like that stuff's going to happen. There are a ton of crashes in a ton of different races, and it's all about placement. And sometimes if you're just in the wrong spot at the wrong time, you're going to go down. It's not that. People are targeting the best rider. That is suggesting that the peloton has malicious intent.
Yeah.
And I find that a little bit absurd.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same situation they have in the men's race too. And you hear the old guys saying all the time, it's like nobody's given, respect to the older guys or whatever. It's just the way racing is. It's unfortunate that she is very talented, but that was a pinching point. And nowadays, if you have in your radio saying you got to get up front, and because it's going to squeeze down a right hand corner or roundabout, that's when things start happening. Then everybody gets that same note from everybody else. This is a part of bike racing nowadays, unfortunately, and there is way more crashes than I can remember. I'm sure.
Absolutely.
It's they're devastating crashes. But I won't go any further because that's part of my segment.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so
okay,
yeah.
I think emotions got out of control there. It sounds like it carried over into today. I was reading some stuff right before I came downstairs for the show tonight that it was still continuing on, that these directors are still yelling at each other about these types of things. There's stress. There's major amounts of money on the line, and shit's going to happen. But I think every rider deserves to be in the peloton. Regardless, just because you happen to be higher on the pay scale and you happen to have a greater chance of winning this event, that should not restrict somebody else from being able to be at the front of the peloton. I'm sorry, that's just not going to work.
Don't you think though that part of the lure for cycling is that and I've mentioned this before, we're on that edge, right?
Yeah.
That something could happen. You could crash, overlap a wheel. I mean, it's always there. That's that thing that just kind of like you're on the edge of your seat. Mm-hmm. It's not a rom-com type of movie. It's a thriller. It's like, God, you don't know what's going around the corner. What's going to happen next? That's the allure to me for cycling. And if one person's like, no, I want the rom-com, everybody stand back, everybody, it's a happy ending, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Then it's no longer pleasing.
Yeah. This is a super tight, super close race. I think we're about probably 24 hours to 48 hours away from some major fireworks happening and things getting blown apart. However, that being said, I don't think it's a rock solid game over deal. I think, I would like to personally apologize for Kasia Niewedoma to her, because I think I said maybe a podium. I don't know. Watching her, her fitness is rolling in. I think she's trained really well and prepared for this, and I think it could be something that could bring some pretty cool stuff into it. Not to mention the fact that Anna van der Breggen's back, and we've got some big riders in there who can do some climbing. Now, Demi is definitely probably the strongest, but who knows, with that crash, what that can do, what that can bring down to her. I don't do this a lot, but I also do want to say that our friend Anne-Maria Rook, expert in in-depth coverage of the race, she is on a podcast right now called the Queen Stage Podcast. If you truly want to find some in-depth information into the Women's Tour de France, we're just scratching the surface here. Anne-Maria knows her shit, and the people she's on that podcast with know their shit. So that I would recommend the hell out of that. When you're not listening to us, go listen to that one. That's a pretty solid deal. So how do you guys see this one finishing up if you had to pick a podium?
Man, I imagine Demi Vollering's probably going to take it. I'm interested to see what the next two are. I think Ferrand Prévot has really showed her cards well. And then that third spot's really what's going to be interesting. I think Niewedoma got a really good chance of it.
Puck is still ninth. Yeah. She's only a minute 4 back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's it's. I find it very similar to the men's peloton. You kind of knew who first and second were going to be, but you don't really know who third's going to be. Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I think Niewedoma certainly could be there. She descended like a demon today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the podium right there. What Jackson said.
Kim Nakor, who is in yellow right now. There's been a lot of discussion about the fact that she's got the chops. She could potentially.
I'd like to see that. That would be.
That would be really cool, especially for that team. And to bring something like that out. So yeah, it could be fun. I'm watching. I am. Even when I have to scream at the TV because they kick me out. And I actually used a very bad word today when it kicked me out, and I went, well, you believe what they say in Boston and in British pubs.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, and then I was just like, I guess I'll just watch it downstairs, and so I came downstairs and fired up the VPN again and watched it down here. So I watched the tail end of it. So, gentlemen, you guys ready for segments?
Sure.
Okay, good, because segments this week are once again sponsored by you, listener. Patreon is up on the homepage, and thanks to many of you, we are not only able to keep the lights on, but beer flowing through the conversation. And we just popped the IPA. I drained the IPA keg, and it is my fault. So if you'd like to help, be sure and check out our Patreon. We're starting with Changing Times with the one and only Paul Main. This week's title, once again, as they are so aptly named, is Fast Forward. And I can't wait to hear this. And we just scuffed on the topic, but we didn't hit it this year. Yeah. Good.
So what triggered that was the typical last stage. There's always the formality of, you have all the jerseys up front for photo ops. They're riding down the road.
Yeah.
And then the yellow jersey and the whole team, and they interlocked arms and they go down the road. They're having problems doing that. And somebody brought this up, and I was going to ask Sam, like early in the week, positions on bikes have drastically changed from when, back when we were riding,
Yeah. Top two blink with a time zone.
Well, and it was like, look at their seats are all the way forward, and and then the shorter cranks, and they're putting them, and for good reason. It makes them faster. The appendage of that hip, you're using more muscle, using your glutes and everything like that. But then you start looking at, here's the UCI looking at safety things. Let's limit the gearing. I'm not sure that's going to do it. There might be something with your hands in tight. If you try and maneuver with your hands in tight, as opposed to like just even like an average cyclist riding right next to the stem and try and ride, it's different. But these guys are professionals, so they probably got it handled. But the thing is that position, and I'm not, disparaging anything on that, but you have your weight forward. The center of gravity determines like your handling of your bike. That's massive. So that's how we descend. If you think even mountain bikes, they have dropper posts. What do? So you can get back. Yeah. And your weight's out over the back wheel. Well, the speeds have increased because of the bikes themselves and the position now. So that and the way they're racing, that when your weight's forward and you hit brakes, you're going over the top. And I think it was Grove. There's a picture of he saves it where there's a crash right in front of him. He's doing a front wheel stand, comes down, and he gets around it, and then it started sliding, and he does another one. That's all because that weight is forward. He was able to save it. Mm-hmm. But I think we sometimes we're looking at these things, what the UCI is trying to do to keep it from crashing. But I really feel that position on the bike has a lot to do with, I think the more crashes we have is due more to youth inexperience that's taking chances, and also the speed is so high. But I think being able to save a crash is not there because all your weight. You hit a water bottle when you're in that position, your chances, in my opinion, I don't have any scientific backing. Yeah. But if you hit a water bottle and all your weight's forward, you're going down. There's nothing. If your weight's back a little bit, then you
can able get over.
Yeah, you kind of typically. Yeah.
I was wondering if you were going to say it's about wobble or something like that when they take their hands off the bars and are doing.
Have you just tried
interlocked arms? If that sometimes can cause a little bit of
not with these bikes. But you try and just because when you take off your jacket or something, what do? You scoot on the back. Try and do all that work. Take off an arm warmer or something.
That's true.
With your hands off the bar on the tip of your saddle, you're going to be going whoa, whoa.
Yeah. Right.
But if you get back, then you can actually use your hips to control.
Did you ever have any bikes in your day where you would be going across the finish and try to do the victory salute, and you'd get that
high-speed wobble?
Yeah, I remember some bikes that would
do that.
There
was, I'm trying to think.
Jay, you okay? I'm cramping. Leg cramp, man down. God, I wish you were on camera right now.
CP feels your pain. All right.
Wow. It's all that.
Sorry.
Oh, shit. It happened
It's a hammy. It's a hammy.
Just keep going. Oh, my God. Okay, I'm going to have to sit with my leg extended for a little bit.
Hamstring?
Yeah, it's my left one.
God, I never get him in my hamstring. I get him in my calf predominantly.
Okay.
But top of my thigh, something like that. But
it's underneath the bottom. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Or that's probably hamstring.
Yeah.
But
Ow. Oh, shit.
Sorry, what were you saying?
High-speed wobbles. I remember some of those would do that. And I would say
steel bikes, or sometimes your weight is too far. You're up, or there's one incident when Masters Nationals was here in town, and I was helping out. Mavic was support. Remember when they had their yellow cars and everything?
Oh, yeah.
And this guy, we got a commissaire says, support one, can you go check this guy's having problems on the descent? And I look, and he was a 65-year-old. And I look over at his bike, and he's got, people started using those mountain bike stems to raise it up.
Oh, shit.
And he was in his 65, 70-year-old.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so I leaned out the window and I said, how long have you had that stem? I knew his weight was to place too far back, so that's,
So he can't descend.
Yeah, he can't. I mean, he's like hanging on, and it was funny. You could watch him. You could see him like, whoa! It's just wild. And it was something wimpy. It wasn't a Vetus, but it was some other type of like tube jointed aluminum thing from 1988. But and I said the only thing you could do is touch your knees on your top tube. That just breaks up that harmonics. And he says, okay. And I said, just curious, how long have you had that stem? He goes, well, I hurt my back, so I went to the bike shop and put a raised stem. So what you do is when you instead of being over this way, he's brought all his weight
back
towards the back of the bike. And when he started descending, he's upright, and that thing just. So
I do remember there were the days that if you were going to post up, and if you knew your bike well enough, you knew if your knees had to be touching the top tube, or if you could just go fully up. And that was just you knew your bike by that point. And I will say the years I rode a specific the fucking Vetus.
Yeah,
I rode those bikes. They were like riding a pound of pasta.
Remember the swing bike? Schwinn made a swing bike that actually pivoted. Yeah. That's what it was. You'd go around a corner. You had to learn to ride this thing.
The rear wheel pivoted too.
Yeah, of course. So you would it would go around the corner. You could actually have your front wheel to one side.
Yeah, it ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty badass. Yeah, only certain cool kids could ride it.
Yeah.
Where do they end up now?
Broken collarbones.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Cool Town, Jackson Bulger. That's it. That's all I got to say. I'll shut the fuck up.
So as I was talking about earlier, I think it was last week. Yeah, end of last week. I was getting home and I was finding that I had, schoolwork to do, and then I had other things to do, and I was like, I just get off of work and I have to go back to work, I feel like. And I don't like that feeling. I don't want to break up that feeling. And so what I have decided to do, as I mentioned earlier, was to my wife gets up early, so I get up early now. And it really doesn't make a difference. I've started to either do my weight training plan that I have, or or just hop on the trainer. And yeah, it sucks. Doing exercise that early in the morning can sometimes be hard to motivate yourself to, but I find that I feel better throughout the day. I don't get extra tired at night. And I actually have time in the afternoon to not feel like so stressed out. And so it's been a really great method. And I'm going to do it through the school year. And once I'm done with my master's program as well, I think. I've just enjoyed it.
Holy shit, you're too young to say those types of things. I mean that as a compliment, because it's like usually us old farts, like when I sleep in now, it's 8 o'clock.
Me too.
That's like late sleep in. And nowadays, even though I'm a teacher in the summertime, so I'm still waking up at 7:30. Paul probably gets up, the crows are like going, damn.
5 o'clock.
Yeah, really?
But I don't know.
Sorry, we're interrupting.
No, that was my question. I wanted to know. So my question was, are you an early riser? What time do you get up? And do you exercise in the morning? Those are my 3 questions. So as you were saying.
Yeah, and so I've woken up 5 o'clock in the morning for probably the last at least 25, 30 years. I love mornings. It's peaceful. It's quiet, especially in the summertime. Sun's just coming up. It is great. Have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
But I used to do this morning ride that, and do that in the morning. Same effect. Right. I got my ride in. I got my exercise. You're riding with people you like. And you come home and you're not stressed like, how am I going to get this in, because this and this happened before I got, by the time I got home, I got to take care of this.
Absolutely.
And it's just piles on. So it's always best. And my wife is a late sleeper, used to be. And so it was great. I'd be home and she'd just be waking up when I get home from my morning ride.
Yeah.
And it's like never missed a beat. But now with her new job, she actually gets up like 5 minutes before I do.
Wow.
But I wake up at the same time because once there's movement. But my work starts like early in the morning. I can't do that exercise, and that's when I come home. That's a problem. Is getting that. It becomes a discipline, not motivation. I have to get on those rollers in order to be where I want to be next year, and so then it becomes a little bit more painstaking as opposed to waking up, riding with a bunch of guys,
Right.
doing the things that I want to do. So,
as I've gotten further into adulthood, I've really realized that it's the game. Like the game to play is optimize your time outside of work, so you don't feel like you only belong to work.
mm-hmm.
Oh my
and
God.
that's so hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've even said that at your age is really freaking impressive. And I don't mean that condescending. I wish I would have cleared my head of that shit when I was your age. I don't like getting up super early, but I find that when I do get up super early, I like it.
Right.
It's that first turning off the alarm, swinging your legs over the bed, sitting up, and then standing up. Once I'm standing up, I'm going to make it.
Right.
It's my brain is a fickle little bitch. It will start spiraling where I'm like going, okay, where could I fit a workout in? You know what? I'm probably not going to get a very good workout in anyway. Where could I? And then, I've thought about this for 15 minutes, so that's too much. I've missed my workout window. I might as well just sleep another hour. This is the shit but goddamn, if it doesn't, last year I decided when the school year started, I was going to just force myself to get up at 5 or 5:15 every day. And even on days I didn't have a workout, I would get up at that time. And I would come downstairs and I would have a cup of coffee and I would just, like you said, Paul, just have that time to almost do nothing or to literally do nothing and just sit there and go, okay, we're good. I don't have to run and get in the shower and get my shit together and make sure all my lesson plans are done and yada, yada, yada. I'm done. I'm good. I can just sit here and be in this moment. And I also find I very much value the time after work with my wife. She and I talk incessantly to each other, sometimes at each other. But I have always valued dinner time in my house. I love to cook. I wake up in the morning going, what do you want for dinner tonight? And I come home at 5:30, especially when I'm in rehearsal, things like that. I come home at 5:30 and I don't want to work out. I want to cook dinner. I want to have a drink with my wife. I want to talk about our days, and I don't work out.
Right.
And then it just spirals. And so I find out if I don't get it done in the morning, I'm not going to get it done.
And see, that's my issue too. I have that in me that you have, is that like if I don't get something in, I do eventually begin to feel anxious, feel like incomplete a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, not coming home and feeling that terrible dread has just been such a game changer.
Yeah.
It's especially with so many things to do. Once you're back, it's like, it's really nice.
And I have to say that many times, because I was doing that morning ride from, I think the first time was in 96 and I did it to 2010 consistently. There's a couple of times I thought, I'll skip it today. Or it's starting to get like, once it's late August, it's still dark. You're riding in the dark. You're making excuses. It's a little bit colder. Now you have to have like booties on.
Can't find my arm warmers. Fuck it.
But every time that I did not go, I'm disappointed.
Right.
Never have I ever slept in, thought, screw it, where I was thinking, I made a good choice.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
You're right. God, the sleep-in mornings have always been just like that extra hour didn't do dick for me. And now I'm pissed off. And then that makes me mad throughout the day.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Get up in the morning. I know some people who get up at 4:30. I
cannot do that.
How early is too early?
Yeah. Well, and then it also changes the thought of like, some people don't start at 7:30 every morning. Some people start at 9. Some people, it's just, it all depends on what job you can do.
Yeah.
Because the morning ride that we have here, the TMR, starts at 5. But if they're doing a 2-hour ride, that's 7 by the time I get back. I'm not going to have enough time to do all that shit.
I have to be at work by 7:30.
It could be too. And so it's just, it all depends on what you work.
It's not going to happen. And you're not going to get, I'm not going to get anything substantially long. It's going to be 60 to 90 minutes of a workout. But there, you can do that, and you can hit some distance days on the weekends and still come out pretty freaking dialed.
Exactly.
So, unless you're doing 100-mile gravel races. But we won't talk about those.
Right.
All right, that brings us to our final K, the final question of the night, gentlemen. First of all, thank you guys so much. And be sure and subscribe to the podcast. Be sure and give us a rating on iTunes. We haven't had any in a while. I know y'all love us. Tell everybody how much you love us. Tell them. Gentlemen, final K, what's a movie that you saw that was the complete opposite of your expectations? Not, I mean, don't mean like good or bad. I mean like, holy shit, this movie I thought was going to be a comedy and it was scary and dramatic. Any movies that you can think of? I can go first if you want. Last night I watched a movie starring Nicolas Cage called Pig. And I thought it was going to be a stupid action movie. And it was dramatic. And I cried at the end of Pig with Nicolas Cage. He was looking for a truffle pig that he had. It's an emotional movie. Watch it. Anyway.
I don't know if I necessarily have a movie rather than a TV series, The Righteous Gemstones. Way more dramatic than I thought it was going to be.
Absolutely. Great choice. Great choice.
Netflix has, what is it? Adolescence.
Okay.
Miniseries.
Oh.
That one just blew me away. I thought it was, just your typical Brit, maybe semi-mystery, but it was a heavy hitter in England. Parliament, he was even saying, we need to take a look at this movie, as in, like, influence how.
No shit.
Yeah. Wow. So if you get a chance to watch that.
What was it called again?
Adolescence.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh,
okay.
Some reviewing this.
That one was
Watch that at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned before that the last scene, the main character, the father, the lead actor on that is this kid. It's his first acting job.
Oh,
that's
shit.
Cool.
He just knocks it out of the park. And the father, I've seen him in so many different British films, but I think he ad-libbed this scene, the very last scene, where he goes in his son's room. Wow.
Really?
Oh, man. Seriously. It is so well done.
Okay.
But you're going to be ripped up. It's like, whew.
Good to know.
Yeah. I mean, I was emotional over the Nick Cage movie.
Yeah.
It's just,
Get ready for this one.
Yeah. I thought, because Nick has made some really weird choices, some of his movies,
Yeah.
you said. And this one was good. It's really interesting. Set in Portland.
Is it really?
There we go.
Interesting.
Yeah. There we go. We ran way past our outro song.
Yeah.
Too much
But
good
there you
stuff
go.
to talk
Won't
about.
be the last time it happens. Thanks, you guys. Waple's back in the house next week, unless they're in some sort of a French prison. We will talk to you guys next